Is the property market about to crash? New data has just dropped. You've got to have this data, guys. Hey everyone, Scott Kuru here. So everyone's been saying the same thing for the last 12 months. The property market is going to crash. It has to crash. Who can afford all of these prices? Prices are going to correct. The bubble is going to pop. And if you've been sitting on the sidelines waiting for that to happen, well, I've actually got new data for you. And this is actually big. In fact, something monumental has just happened in Australia's housing market, something that has never happened before. This new data might finally give you the answer to the question, is the property market really going to crash, or are we just getting started? So stay with me for a couple of minutes and I promise you, you'll walk away from this video with some real answers. All right, let's start with the big headline. Australia's housing market is now worth $11.8 trillion. That's right, almost $12 trillion. That's the total value of all the homes across the country. It's up about 678 billion in just 1 year. And if prices keep moving like this, we'll hit 12 trillion by the end of this year. Think about that for a second. That's 3 times the size of the entire Australian stock market and more than double all the money sitting in our super funds. And the thing is, this didn't happen in a boom year. It happened while people were screaming, housing crash. The latest data shows home values are up 2.2% in the last quarter and 4.8% in the past year. That's not a crash, that's a climb. And the pace is actually picking up. Month after month, prices are rising faster, thanks to 3 big factors. Number 1, rate cuts have lifted people's borrowing power. 2, listings are actually low, about 19% below the 5-year average. And 3, demand is high, especially for homes in that 650K to 1.2 million price range. So while people are out there waiting for prices to fall, the data is saying the opposite. The market is tightening again. And here's the real story most people are in fact missing. Investors are back. The latest PropTrack data shows investor lending is now at its highest level since 2017. They're jumping back in, and for good reason. Over 90% of investment property sales last year made a profit, the highest on record. Rents are strong, vacancy rates are low, and yields are holding steady. And after 3 RBA rate cuts this year, finance costs have dropped sharply. So while some people are frozen by fear, the investors are doing the exact opposite. Now, I know that some people are thinking, Scott, this sounds like a bubble waiting to burst. But here's the thing, this isn't built on speculation. This is built on real demand and supply, plain and simple. We're not building enough homes, we're not approving enough developments, and the government's housing target, the National Housing Accord, is already 60,000 homes short in its first year. At the same time, immigration is not slowing down. Skilled workers are arriving, people who can actually borrow, buy, and build. So yes, debt is high, but the demand is real. Until supply catches up, prices will not collapse. So let me ask you something. Do you still think the property market is going to crash? Comment below because I generally want to know. Because here's what I'm seeing. Major banks and economists are predicting 2 to 3 more rate cuts next year. A 5% deposit scheme that just went live on October the 1st. That's tens of thousands of first-home buyers now flooding into the market early. Investors are actually back in record numbers and almost every sale is making a profit. Housing supply is collapsing. Already, we are 60,000 homes short in year 1 of the national target. And immigration is still rising, driven by skilled workers who actually have borrowing power. So with all of this in front of you, do you really think the market's about to crash? Or is this the next wave of the cycle starting right in front of us? Tell me in the comments, I want to hear what you think. Now, we'll get the new inflation data on October 29, and that'll tell us whether the RBA moves again in November. If you want to stay ahead of it all, hit subscribe and keep watching your daily property update where we unpack the real data behind the headlines. And remember, I also write 4 new articles every week on Australian Property Update. They're free, they're short, and they'll help you cut through the noise and see what's really happening. Click the link in the description field so that you can subscribe to the Australian Property Update newsletter. By the way, you really want to check out this property video. This is where I talk about the next boom area, the next boom capital city where you need to have your attention on. Go ahead, click that and watch that video right now.